Hi, my name is Nick Kalyani, and in this video I'm going to demonstrate how you can use the HyperCrunch Druid toolkit to create an instant mobile site. What I'm going to do is first tell you a little bit about the rule engine in Druid, and for that I'm going to go over to my browser here and go to the Druid website, which is druid.hypercrunch.com. The rule engine in Druid processes rules that you define in a configuration file, runs them through a rule engine, and then performs some rule actions. The rules work on the basis of match types, and there are various match types available. For this video, we're going to focus on the one called client device properties. What it does is it enables Druid to detect, using the built-in capabilities of the DotNetNuke framework, what device is being used. The action we are going to use is something called a content renderer, and a very specific type of content renderer called a site renderer. What a content renderer does in Druid is it essentially replaces the output of a .NET page with custom output that is specified through a script written using the MVC pattern and created using the Razor script. So let's go over here to this next tab on my browser where I have a standard .NETNuke 6.0 installation. The only changes I've made is I've added a logo, and I've installed the two requirements for this, the HyperCrunch Druid library and the HyperCrunch Druid mobile library. Both of these are available for free download on Codeplex. You can go to druid.codeplex.com and download this package and do a standard .NETNuke installation. In addition to installing these, what I've also done is secured the news and promotions page so that it is no longer available to unauthenticated users. And you'll see why I've done that in just a moment. So I'm going to go ahead and log out here, and we should see that this is just a standard .NETNuke site, and you see that the news and promotions has disappeared. All right, so now the first thing I want to do is demonstrate to you that Druid is actually installed and functioning here. And for that, we'll do the standard Druid test. We put hello Druid equals and any value. And when Druid is installed, you will see that it shows you this dialog saying the site has been Druidified. So we know that Druid is installed and working correctly. That's great. So now I'm going to go behind the scenes to the file system, because as of this current release, Druid does not have a UI in order for you to manage the rules. You have to do them manually through a configuration file. So I'm going to go here to the same folder where these portals files are installed. This is folder number 1. So I'm going to go in there and I'm going to create a new file called Druid config. Now the way Druid configuration files work is that you can have a file at the host level, and you can also have files at the portal level that can, under certain circumstances, override the rules that are defined in the actual host file. In this case, I've created a file at the admin level, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open this up in Notepad, nothing fancy here, and I'm going to go ahead and type in one single rule, and I'm going to just go ahead and copy and paste that here from another source so that we don't have to sit through and watch all the typing. And let me talk to you about exactly what this rule is doing. So this rule is simply saying that the match type it's going to use is client capability. The match field it's going to use is wireless device. Now this is one of the fields available to the client capability, and if you look at some of the other videos available on the Druid site, you'll learn a little bit more about the different fields that are available. Here I'm saying the match condition needs to be equal and the match value needs to be true. So basically we are saying if the client capability reports that the device that is accessing the site is a wireless device, then use this specific renderer. Now this renderer is available through the Druid mobile toolkit. That's the second package that we saw installed in .NETNuke. So essentially all this is saying is if there's a mobile device, then use the default Druid site renderer. Now that we've got this rule in place, let's go ahead and save and go back to our browser and refresh our page and make sure that it's still working correctly. So at this point, we should see no difference other than the home page being loaded up, and it does. So now what I'm going to do is switch over and show you my iPhone. So here's my actual iPhone. This is a live iPhone, not a simulator. And what I'm going to do is fire up the browser and I'm going to go ahead and go to the exact same page that we see here. So we'll go 10.1.1.24, and we'll go to that site, and presto, just look at that. With just that one rule, now we've got ourselves a complete mobile UI using jQuery Mobile, where the whole site has been rendered using a friendly touch interface. So I can expand, and you can see that every one of my modules has been converted over into a link here, and I can expand and collapse these and look at information. And I'm browsing this website, and it has a complete mobile touch UI, and allows me to see things. Now, this would be fine if you had content that was fairly sparse, but most sites have very complicated content layouts. They have sections, etc. And sites don't always lend themselves to this automated fashion. So very shortly, I'm going to show you how you can control that. But before that, let's take a look at and make sure that this authentication piece works. So here in the UI itself, we've got the ability to authenticate. So I'm going to go ahead and authenticate, and my password is .NetNuke. So we'll go ahead and type that in. And recollect that I had set the news section of the site to be secure and available to authenticated users only. And sure enough, now we have this new link here, news and promotions, and you can see that the site is rendering with full fidelity here. So this of course also supports the ability to rotate the device. I'm going to rotate my little display device here, so you can see that it still works fine. And this is the beauty and the power of the Druid automated site rendering. So now let's go back here and see how we can control this a little bit more. So the Druid site engine gives us the ability to actually have very granular control over how the site is rendered. And the way it's done is by using the vocabulary capability that DotNetNuke exposes to us. And go into admin and taxonomy. Now this is the place where you can define vocabularies in DotNetNuke. I'm going to create a new vocabulary, and I'm going to create a vocabulary called mobile demo. It's arbitrary. You can create any named vocabulary that you want. I'm going to go ahead and give a scope of application and create this vocabulary. Now go back to editing that vocabulary. We'll add some terms to the vocabulary. Now these terms are going to become the names of our pages on our virtual mobile site that we are building via the site renderer of Druid. So we'll add a page called about. It's really a term we've added, but it will end up as a page. And we'll add another one called demo. Alright, so that should be about right. We'll go ahead and click update. Now we can go through the rest of the site, and let's say we pick this particular module here. We'll go into settings, and under tags now we should see our tag with about term. So we'll go ahead and check that. And what we've done by checking it is indicated that this module will appear as content on the virtual mobile page called about. And we'll also go ahead and go to this page here and perhaps add something for the other page. So essentially this gives us the ability to very granularly control what the mobile site is going to look like versus what the desktop browser site will look like. So at this point we've done something very simple. We've added two terms and added two modules, or one to each of those terms. Now let's go back to our Druid configuration file, which you saw earlier, and we're going to make a very simple change to it. What we're going to do is tell the site renderer that we have a special vocabulary we'd like it to use. So I'm going to go ahead and paste some content here. And so the first piece we are adding here is called JSON setting name, and that has to be site renderer because that's what site renderer is looking for. And the next thing we want is we want to add a value. In this case, I called my vocabulary mobile demo. So we'll go ahead and save it that way. Now there is some aggressive caching done by Druid of the configuration files. So one thing we'll want to do, at least for this release, is we want to restart the app. This limitation will go away very soon, but for right now we do have to restart the application, and that will bring our new configuration that we've just created into play. And in order to see that, we'll go back to our mobile phone, and here I still have the browser open with what I had before. Let me go ahead and refresh the page now, and you can see that the layout of the site has now changed. I have two pages versus the automatically generated hierarchy of the site, and if I expand it, you can see that I have the module that I had selected and tagged, and the same applies for the other page. If I go to demo, so you can see how very powerful this capability is. Within the exact same website, you can give desktop users with a browser one experience, and mobile users who really don't want all the full-fledged content you have on the website, but very limited amount of content. You can give them that same type of content, but using DotNetNuke's tagging capabilities, you can make it almost effortless for your content editors to selectively decide what the hierarchy of the mobile site will be like and what the content will be like. And you can see that it also respects the security. I logged out and one of those items disappeared because that was secure. So that's the video, folks. Hope you enjoyed this demo of the instant mobile site. Now go create something. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.